What's up everybody? In this video we're going to talk about one of the hardest things to deal with if you train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that is injuries. Injuries can be very annoying, but they can also be very beneficial. In this video we'll talk about prevention, recovery, and what you can do when you have an injury. So first off, how can you prevent injuries? First thing, try to go to a gym where training is done in a safe way. So good house rules, not letting complete beginners tear each other apart standing up, those kind of things. So picking the right gym is very important. Okay. Second thing, this is more of a thing you can do, that's stepping on time. Whenever you feel that you're stuck in a submission position, don't wait until you feel your joint popping. When you're stuck, just step. It's not worth it to take big risks of injury in submissions in the gym. Other thing is pick your training partners. Don't go with people, if you can, that are a lot heavier than you, that are very explosive, if you're scared of getting injured. Eventually you'll need to learn ways to deal with that, how to train safely with even people that are big and explosive, but especially in the beginning, try to stay with people around the same size. Is stay relaxed. The more tense you are, the easier it's going to be to get injured. If you stay relaxed, if you flow with the go, as Master Hickson Gracie would say, there's a lot less chance of injuries. What I see with my students is the people that are very tense, that use a lot of power, they are very much more prone to injuries than the people that can stay relaxed. I think that's one of my biggest powers as somebody who's been doing Jiu-Jitsu for about 15 years now. I rarely get injured, and I think that's mainly because I manage to stay relaxed during the rules. Of course, I'll use power every now and again, but my baseline is quite relaxed, which gives me less chance of injuries. So that's prevention. Now, even if you're doing all of these things, it can happen that you get injured. And the big question you have to ask yourself is, what can I still do? Okay? Let's say you injure your pinky, then you can basically still train Jiu-Jitsu. You just tape your pinky and you can do most of the things you can already do. If you can train normally, let's say you injured your wrist, so you can post out. Try to find positions you can still do. So if you injured your right wrist, try to play guard on your left side, for example. Or if you injured your toe, you can't stand up easily, try to play half guard where your toe won't get stopped. And this is one of the big benefits I got from injuries. In 2018, I was preparing for the World Championship, and during a training session, I actually injured my toe quite nasty. It would make a nasty tearing sound. I think the injury is called a turf toe. Toe got bent backwards, and I wouldn't be able to stand on it too well. I wouldn't be able to play open guard because every time somebody hit the toe, it would hurt a lot. It would get worse. So my coach Thiago took me apart and he taught me how to play half guard. And this is right now my favorite position to play. I love half guard, and since that moment, it's been a big part of my game. So if you get injured, try to find a position that you can work on. Half guard is a great option. Playing guard on the other side might be a good idea. And just specialize in that. Try to learn everything you can about that position. So don't worry about the whole game of Jiu-Jitsu. Just learn a new skill that you can do while you're injured. So that's the ultimate situation. Okay, now sometimes the injuries are bad enough that you can't really train Jiu-Jitsu. A knee injury, rib injuries can be very annoying. So the next thing you should ask is, can I still train other things? So can you still lift weights? If you get a knee injury, that's a perfect time to work your biceps, to work your chest, to do some pull-ups, of course, if the doctor allows for it. So if you can train Jiu-Jitsu in any way, try to find a way to train weightlifting. Now, if that is also out of the picture, very bad knee injury or a concussion, then a good thing might be to learn skills that are related to Jiu-Jitsu. So instead of just doing Jiu-Jitsu, or study instructionals, study matches, Jiu-Jitsu related skills that you can do without using your body too much. Okay? That's the third way. So preferably you do Jiu-Jitsu in a way that doesn't hurt you. Otherwise you do training that is not Jiu-Jitsu but is complementary to Jiu-Jitsu. And if those two are not an option, you can go into a skill where you improve your Jiu-Jitsu without using your body too much. Okay. Fourth case, injury is really bad, or you just feel you need to focus on something else for a bit since you can't train for a while. Learn a new skill, and this is great if you get injured. That actually gives you time to learn something new. Learn a new language, learn how to play guitar, learn how to play chess. Injuries, especially for high-level competitors, can be a chance to really broaden your horizons and to learn something new. So that's the fourth option. Just learn a new skill that doesn't have anything to do with jiu-jitsu. If you get injured, ask yourself, what can I still do? Can you still train jiu-jitsu? And if not fully, try to focus on positions you can do. If that's not an option, learn, work on a skill that's closely related to jiu-jitsu, like weightlifting, like yoga. If that's not an option, you work on a skill that's related to jiu-jitsu where you don't need your body, like studying matches, instructionals. And the fourth option, if that's all out of the picture, just learn a new skill. Learn how to play guitar, chess, whatever you like. A great chance to broaden your horizons. Okay, so now you know how to spend your time when you get injured. But recovery is also very important. Next to rest, nutrition is a big part of recovery. And we actually have our house dietitian, Sarah Tuohy, who's helping a lot of our athletes. And she's going to share with you the secrets of nutrition to get back from an injury.
Hi guys, I'm Sarah Tuohy, a sports dietitian in Rotterdam, and I also train and treat people at Haven BJJ in Rotterdam. So now that you know everything you need to know about what you can do when you're injured from a training perspective, I'm here to tell you what you can do from a nutrition point of view. Nutrition may not have the most direct impact on your recovery, but it definitely will help in the process. There are a few certain things that I would advise during the time that you're injured. The first one being, eat enough calories overall. Injury is not the time to be focused on becoming super lean, building loads of muscle, trying to be the leanest version of yourself. It's the time to be eating enough calories overall, because when we're injured, it costs energy to heal. So make sure you're at a maintenance. That means eating just as many calories as you're burning in a day. Obviously, because you're moving less, again, it depends on the injury that you have, you will be burning less. So maybe overall you may be eating less than you usually would when you're training, but it's important to be eating enough. So consume at least those 3 main meals a day, starting with breakfast, then lunch, then dinner, if necessary, snacks in between, and make sure those meals are balanced between carbs, proteins, and fats. Number 2 would definitely be consume plenty protein a day. Protein is definitely one of the most important building blocks in our body. Also when we're not injured, right? So it's going to help us build those muscles, it's going to help us feel strong. But also when we're not injured, we're already basically, our muscle mass is decreasing when we're sitting still, right? So when we're moving less, our muscle mass is going to be decreasing, and we want to make sure we're keeping that muscle mass high. How can you do that? By consuming enough protein every day. That means already starting off your day right with a protein-rich breakfast. Could be a high-protein yogurt with muesli and fruit. It could be porridge with some protein powder added in. And making sure you're starting your day off right usually sets you up for success. Then make sure you add in like a lean protein into your lunch and into your dinner as well. Golden tip, and honestly every athlete I've advised to do this really benefited from this, is make sure you have a nice bowl of protein-rich yogurt before you go to bed, or it can be a protein shake as well, because those slow proteins, also known as casein, are going to help you delay muscle breakdown during the night when you're not moving, which will in turn also really help recovery. Certain micronutrients and vitamins have been shown to be beneficial for recovery. When it comes to being injured in general, I would definitely advise eating enough vegetables and fruits. That's going to make sure you're uptaking enough vitamins such as vitamin D, vitamin B12, and minerals such as calcium and potassium and iron. There are also certain supplements on the market that research have shown to be beneficial for recovery from injury. It really depends on the injury that we're talking about, but one that can be super beneficial and that honestly is the most researched supplement on the market is creatine. It's shown to be beneficial for not only injured athletes, but also non-athletes and just athletes in general. So it's one of the supplements that I advise all of my athletes and non-athletes. Lastly, a very basic one, but when we're not moving, when we're injured, depending on the injury that we have, we're obviously breaking down more muscle and we won't be building it up as much as when we were training a lot. So protein powder can be a very easy way of making sure you're hitting your protein targets every day.
Okay, that's some great advice from Sarah. Thanks a lot. Last part we want to talk about is psychology. It's very important that you take your mind off the injury. If you're just sitting at home thinking about, oh, all my opponents are training, all my training partners are training, that's not good for your psychology. It's important to stay positive. So work on those things you can work on. There's always something you can do. And the last tip I want to give you, and this is not something you'll hear a lot of jiu-jitsu coaches tell you, but I think it's a great way to deal with injuries, is to start gaming. If you're a jiu-jitsu competitor, one of your big drives is probably the competitive thing. So trying to get better than other people, trying to improve yourself. And one way to do that while you're injured is to start gaming. You can play Call of Duty, you can play World of Warcraft, you can play online chess, whatever floats your boat, to keep that competitive fire lit. For me, that's a great way to deal with injuries. I'll just try to find something else to be competitive in. And of course, you don't want to get so addicted to the video game that you stop training jiu-jitsu altogether. That's why I personally avoid games like World of Warcraft, because I know I'll get sucked into that. But playing video games can be a great way to keep your competitive fire burning. All right, do what you can do, stay positive, and if necessary, play some video games. That's my tips for being injured. If you have any other tips you want to add, or if you feel I missed something, please let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully, if you're watching this while you're injured, you recover soon, and I'll see you back on the mat soon. Thanks for watching.